My trans masculine friends were showing off their top surgery scars and living in joy, and I wanted to join them. And because it is perfectly within the law in Washington, D.C., I decided to join them and cover my nipples just to play it safe, because I wanted to be fully free and myself.
The next day.
You guys that don't know, which I'm sure most of you do, the White House had a pride celebration, and one of the people who were invited, a trans model, decided to get topless in solidarity with the letter T of the LGBTQIA+. If you go to a pride parade, this behavior is completely normal. It's actually very tame compared to what you're gonna see walking down the streets. When you look at this, do you actually think the people who already assume that gay people are sex maniacs and uncivilized and don't deserve to be, acclimated into society as normal people, do you think they're gonna look at this and think positively about us? It's our own fault though. We have an entire month to celebrate our sexuality and to highlight gay people in society. And do you know what that does? It highlights every issue within our community that we don't want to talk about. So I suggest we clean up our community before asking for a month worth of attention.
2 days later.
Today I need to apologize. Earlier this month, I was invited by the White House to attend a pride celebration with both President Biden and Dr. Biden. I, alongside other powerful voices in the queer and trans communities, were invited to be represented, seen, and heard in unique and a very special way. As anti-2S LGBTQIA+, especially anti-trans violence and legislation runs rampant across our country, I was proud to be invited to speak at the National Press Club during my trip to Washington, D.C., in order to speak about transgender people and experiences at the highest levels of our nation. In a quick moment of fleeting and overwhelming trans joy, I decided to do something unbecoming of a guest of the president at the White House lawn celebration. More so than ever before, I have learned how powerful and just how impactful my actions are, and how impactful it is when we share our stories and experiences and how we do so with the world. I want to take this moment to apologize for the impact of my actions. I especially want to apologize to my Black trans brothers and siblings, especially transgender women who are Black, because I understand that you all are constantly, at a disproportionate level, impacted by the actions of others, and especially by anti-trans violence. I would also like to apologize to my family and friends who have been harassed. I would also like to apologize to my own community, the 2S LGBTQIA+ community.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We have to do an update on the viral story that embarrassed the Biden administration, the White House, and quite frankly, it really embarrassed the whole country, right? We were embarrassed on the world stage once again, which happens quite a bit under the Biden administration. I mean, this whole administration is an embarrassment, right? Especially for an administration that promised to bring back decency and sanctity to the White House, right? But the Biden definition, or the Biden vision of bringing decency and sanctity to the White House, is actually turning it into the 304 house, right? Which is what it became on their Pride celebration day, because again, they had a trans influencer by the name of Rose Montoya decide that it would be appropriate to flash his boobies, his fake man-made boobies, on the White House lawn for the world, and most importantly, children at the event to see, right? And again, it was really a mask off moment for the Democrats, because it showed the world, the country, that these people are in bed with woke extremists. And also on top of that, conservatives were 100% right in regards to our complaints against why pride events are not appropriate for children. Okay, we know what goes down at those events in regards to entertainment and activities that, again, just quite frankly, any decent person should believe is not appropriate for children. And the great thing about this is that the backlash against this individual for doing this was bipartisan. Okay, the Biden administration came out and denounce this individual, ban this individual from the White House for pulling this stupid stunt. And also the LGBTQ community is giving this person a whole lot of backlash for embarrassing that community and basically, again, essentially proving conservatives right in regards to our complaints. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel and you want to support my channel, you can check out some of my new merch. For example, my signature racist mug, which is a daily reminder of the 2023 definition of racist according to the left, which is anybody who disagrees with the Democrat Party. So you can check that out at my website, gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off using discount code TEAMBCP.
Okay, so that's Rose Montoya, and she's a trans woman, just like myself, and she was invited to the Pride event that just happened at the White House, and she exposed her boobies. I'm all for body positivity, but bitch, this was a family-friendly Pride event at the White House with children. Oh, no, no, no! And honestly, Rose, I'm just super upset because you have been a great activist for the community, but this was dumb. This was stupaloop. Like, girl, what were you thinking? Look at it like this. Over the past year, especially, conservatives have actively been attacking trans people, calling us creeps and groomers. So then you get a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to represent trans people on a national level at the White House, where there are children present, and you show your boobas in front of the kids. At the White House, even with the whole political climate right now. I'm just baffled. Like, I was shocked when I saw this. Shocked. Like, this just set the trans community back so far. The conservatives are going crazy about this, and I can't even blame them. Like, what were you thinking? And I saw that you defended this by saying, like, free the nipple. But bitch, be for real. Freeing the nipple should be the last thing you're worried about as a trans woman in America, where our rights are being stripped away. Like, girl, we're fighting a whole different fight right now. That has nothing to do with pride. There is a time and place for that. There is a time and place to show off your body, and this was not the time, and definitely not the place. And girl, now they banned you from the White House. Like, this whole event will and already is hurting the trans community. Like, just look it up on Twitter. Look at what the conservatives are saying about this. It's bad. This is not at all how we should represent ourselves in public right now. Like, no. Like, yeah, it's nice to have top surgery. I do too. But that's not what this is about. If we want to gain support and acceptance of our lifestyle, that is not the way to do it. I'm sorry. Like, I'm shaking. Like, I can't.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Don't you just love to see the woke revolutionaries eat themselves? Okay, it happens every single time because, like I said in prior videos, and I have to keep stating this, any movement or ideology that becomes too extreme is doomed to eat itself, is going to collapse under the weight of the extremist, okay? And again, what this person did was so extreme that even the trans community, right, is like, you know, you went too far. Okay, you embarrassed us, which, I mean, you could argue is a pretty low bar, right, considering the things that we see on a daily basis in the news. But yeah, this person definitely went so far that, again, even the woke revolutionaries backlashed against this person. So now they're coming out and they're issuing a apology, and I want to react to the apology. It's funny because I have been waiting on this apology. I literally would go and check this person's page to see if they issued an apology, because apparently news crews have showed up to this person's house because they want to ask this person questions about what they did. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this person is going through a lot right now. Okay, so let's listen to what they got to say.
White House to attend a Pride celebration with both President Biden and Dr. Biden. I, alongside other powerful voices in the queer and trans communities, were invited to be represented, seen, and heard in unique and a very special way. As anti-2S LGBTQ especially anti-trans violence and legislation runs rampant across our country.
See, here you go. I don't even care about the apology anymore. Because you're lying, right? You're lying. There's no anti-LGBTQ trans legislation. It doesn't exist. Like, that's not a thing. None of that legislation is anti-trans. It's not anti-LGBTQ. These people need to stop the cap, right? Stop the cap. Okay, let's just go ahead and clear that up right now.
I was proud to be invited to speak at the National Press Club during my trip to Washington, D.C., in order to speak about transgender people and experiences at the highest levels of our nation. In a quick moment of fleeting and overwhelming trans joy, I decided to do something unbecoming of a guest of the president at the White House lawn celebration. More so than ever before, I have learned how powerful and just how impactful my actions are and how impactful it is when we share our stories and experiences and how we do so with the world. I want to take this moment to apologize for the impact of my actions. I especially want to apologize to my Black trans brothers and siblings, especially transgender women who are Black, because I understand that you all are constantly at a disproportionate level impacted by the actions of others and especially by anti-trans violence.
Whoa, this is the wokest apology I've ever heard in my life. What does Black transgender people got to do with this, right? This person is just apologizing to Black people just cuz, right? Again, it's just, wow. This is Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs world, man. It really is.
I would also like to apologize to my family and friends who have been harassed. I would also like to apologize to my own community, the 2S LGBTQ PIA+ community. And last but not least, I would like to apologize to the president, the White House, and the nation. It was also never my intention to create a situation that would lead to harassment and harm of myself and others, nor for trans joy, like my little moment of trans joy, to be weaponized by vile people of the opposition.
Why can't people, when you're clearly in the wrong, just give an apology and keep it moving? Hey, I'm sorry. I made a bad decision. I was an embarrassment to my community, my family, my friends. Why don't you just say that and keep it moving? When this is clearly a moment when you need to take accountability and responsibility, they still choose not to do so because they're saying, well, it's not my fault. My moment of trans joy was weaponized by the bigoted right-wingers, right? Because apparently you're supposed to just be able to flash your boobies, okay, your fake female body parts on the White House lawn, and nobody should criticize you for that, right? That's totally appropriate. Again, this person doesn't actually really feel like they did anything wrong. You can already tell they're just apologizing because they're getting a ton of backlash for it from their own community, right? Not because they actually feel like they did anything wrong. I can already tell. And this is my first run through of this apology, okay? I'm doing this. This is a dry run, okay? So this is my first reaction to it.
Moving forward, I am committed to using this moment as a catalyst for creating positive change, both within myself and within the broader community and the world at large. It is my sincere intention to actively promote empathy, equity, inclusion, and understanding through my words and my actions and my advocacy efforts. I also feel energized to educate and articulate to others the importance and power of trans joy in a more effective way. Finally, as I work to engage in meaningful conversations with my community and my allies, I would like to ask for everyone, especially media outlets and journalists, to please respect mine, my family's, my friends, and my loved ones' privacy during this time. I am unavailable for additional comments, and I will not be conducting interviews at this time. Thank you so much for listening. Today I need...
Yeah. So that was this person's apology. Let's read some of the comments here. You should be apologizing to women primarily. This person says, still rocking with the free the nipple message. To be honest, a chest is a chest. The people sexualizing are quite literally the problem. Yeah. Again, you're the problem, right? You're the problem because you believe that showing female body parts on the White House lawn is inappropriate. Okay, this is what these people think. I expect the apology and I admire your composure. I understand why trans people are critical of the behavior, considering the whole community is under a microscope right now as they are targeted with transphobic legislation. Again, another lie. That being said, I think it's asinine that you have to apologize for excluding trans joy during Pride Month when your joy was genuinely not harming anybody. Yeah, okay. No harm was done, right? Exposing your chest on the White House lawn while children are around. No harm done by these, according to these people. A chest is a chest, free to nipple, trans lives matter. This should be a wake-up call to the Biden administration. They did this for a political gain, nothing more. They don't give a crap about the LGBTQ community. They just want to grasp at strings to win an election. Facts. 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 You were all invited to the White House to be used as political props by Joe Biden for the purpose of getting votes from young people. You made a mistake and were thrown on a bus for it. It's not the end of the world. Hateful people are using any excuse that they could possibly pull out of their ass to hate on trans people right now for whatever reason. Again, that's not an excuse, bruh. Like, this is, like, first of all, it's not hate, first and foremost. Second of all, this is not an excuse. This is just straight up evidence and proof of what we've been talking about in regards to why children should be able to go to events. We don't care about Pride events in the sense that if there's only adults there and they all want to flash each other and play with each other at the event. I personally don't care, okay? I think that they should have the freedom to do that in a free country if they want to do that, okay? I'm not trying to ban Pride events altogether. I'm not trying to do that. But again, the biggest issue was the exposure of this stuff to children, that we were arguing that this stuff is so commonplace that they don't realize, maybe they don't even understand that, children are around this stuff. A lot of them don't care, okay? Because once again, a lot of them really, some of them, they don't really respect themselves enough to maintain decency in public. So again, it's no surprise that these people go to the White House. And again, some of them, not all of them, some of them don't even respect the White House. Like this person right here, who clearly didn't respect the White House, okay? The argument was that, look, these are some of the traits and the things that we're seeing at these events, okay? It's not a representation of all LGBTQ people, but again, it happens. And you would be lying to say it doesn't happen, and we just don't think children should be a part of it. That was the argument. But they have extrapolated that to mean hate when that's just not the case. But I have not heard any proposals or seen any proposals, serious proposals of serious conversation about being like, no, even adults over 25, that is, shouldn't be able to get this surgery, right? Or shouldn't be able to live this life. The only thing people are saying is that you shouldn't have to have special accommodations and rights and privileges because of you choosing to be trans, okay, at the expense of other people. That's the argument. That in itself is not anti-trans. Anti-trans would be saying, well, we just want to ban people from being able to get the surgery or to identify like this at all, right? Nobody is taking away your ability to identify that way, okay? Nobody's taking away your ability to actually get the surgeries and to transition if you want to. We're just saying that you shouldn't be pushing this on children, okay? You shouldn't be talking to children about this stuff, and that, again, your ability to do that shouldn't come at the expense of everybody else in society. But again, that's apparently hateful and transphobic, right? So yeah, I mean, you got people here arguing that the White House is not a sacred place, right? The White House has been a staging ground for countless wars, atrocities, and genocides. It's not a sacred place. Yeah, again, these people are just, it's interesting, right? It's interesting. But, you know, I think that this apology, in my opinion, is very, very, very mild, okay? I think obviously this person still believes that they didn't do anything wrong. They're not really trying to take accountability. They just don't want the microscope to be on them because of what they did. And they also are getting backlash from people in their own community that don't support this because it's a bad look. And this is the only reason they're coming out and issuing this apology. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.